the Arcadian kind of really confuses things a lot for the panel, in my opinion at least. You got
a lot of upsets.
Yeah, you've got, so like some of your top players, Franz, I mean obviously a very good player, but like what's his resume other than the Arcadian?
Yeah,
we haven't seen him at too many big things. Similarly, CPU and Kobayashi sort of both fall in that as well. So all of the top three of the Arcadian are three players who, don't get me wrong, very, very strong.
Yeah.
Definitely deserve, like, from skill level to be in that top 20 to 30 conversation. But, you know, they don't have the
resume.
Yeah, they're not showing up to everything. They're not grinding really hard. They don't have tons of those, like, big name wins. Don't get me wrong, they do have some, right? Like CPU's beaten Griffin and CDK and stuff like that. You know, they do have those big wins, but you know they just haven't been to as much stuff, done as many big places. Right. Whereas some of those players who are like just outside the SoCal PR, who have been having a bunch of big wins, didn't have as good of a turnout at the Arcadian. Obviously, Wieners is one of them. Yeah. Another one who comes to mind is Noah, or Mega Christmas, or Pajama Sam, whatever you call him, who, the day before the Arcadian beats 2 or 3 ranked players at the SoCal Coliseum, but then, doesn't hit that top 5, top 4 we were kind of hoping for from the Arcadian.
Yeah, it's definitely it can show that. Meanwhile, Squid taking this first match against Kira here, 3 stocks to 1, looking like he's probably going to take it. But yeah, it's
nice.
It's definitely hard, man. When you show that you can do super well, but then you also show your real lows, right? Like you can't it's an Arcadian, so you expect to see that kind of stuff, or rather, you expect to see not the highest level of play, but when you show that sort of range of consistency that you have, it's telling.
Yeah. So Squid takes the first game. This is the first time that Squid and Kira have played Falco Fox tonight. They did play in the ladder, but Kira went Puff, and it was very hard. He ended up losing, so decides he wants to warm the Fox against Squid here for this winner semis match.
Oh, but just to say that, yeah, just switches.
Yeah. So Squid's been grinding the Puff matchup quite a bit recently. He has the most recent win on Psycho Midget Cam, the ranked SoCal Puff.
Right.
Also, when he went to New York a couple weeks ago, he played. I'm blanking. Ooh, nice. I'm blanking on his name, but the New York Puff was pretty strong.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna blank too, man. I'm sorry. Someone will tell us. I'm trying. If I could actually. You know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna.
But yeah, so he's definitely been thinking a lot about the matchup and figuring out how to handle it. So really interesting to see how it's being handled right now. So Squid's able to take his first stock back after getting caught by that rest. He plays around the ledge to burn the invincibility from Kira, and then he's able to maintain center stage. You can see Squid, when Kira's kind of floating above him, he's pretty content to sit around back airing or up tilting and kind of keep people out.
Right.
And you'll see not a lot of times will Squid hard approach when the Puff is up there above him. So I think that's a really interesting part of the matchup is this idea of really choosing your approaches carefully. We already talked about this when we watched Combo Fest versus Kira. Right. How for Spaceys and any fast fallers in general or whatever, you have to be really patient and careful. You have these huge hitboxes. You have a really strong game, but you're kind of fragile. Squid's not gonna make it back. That's gonna be the second stock.
The way I kind of look at this matchup is, I have a lot of bias because I genuinely think I have my own fairly unpopular opinions about Falco, but for me, it's just whenever I see this matchup, it's Falco has to win the neutral so many times, and then Jigs has to win it once or twice.
And then get one read,
right?
Or the Falco mess up one time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get rest and you're dead.
It's if I mess up my dare that one time in this combo I had you going for 80%, I'm actually dead. So it's just for me, it's a really frustrating match to get to wrap my head around, just because it's just so you have to work so hard, and Falcos aren't used to that.
Yeah. Whew. Okay. So Squid able to bring it back to neutral after kind of carrying Kira around on the platforms for a little while. He gets that soft hit back air reversed, but not able to find anything off it. you can see Squid, he continues to kind of play the spacing game where, like, he's threatening Kira, like, a lot with, you know, like, the spacing, but not so much with hitboxes. You'll notice that, like, he's not going in with, like, a big hitbox until he's already kind of opened Kira up. So you'll see a lot of laser approaches. You'll see a lot of, like, feinted approaches that don't end up actually putting out a hitbox at all. Or you'll see a lot of, like, go in, pull back, and then, like, throw a dare out or something.
Exactly.
Or a bear.
That's actually what he just did to take that last stock, was kind of ran in, did like a kind of faux Atlas type thing, and shined on shield, wave dash back, or just jump back and cover the roll with the dare, and then just finished it off with the back air. So yeah, you're right. It's a very methodical kind of approach to it, and kind of forcing Kira to make the first move.
The other thing I think Squid's very good at is when he does approach with, like, the dare, the bear, the nair, or whatever, he's quite good at switching it up between, between whether or not he's going to cross you up. So if he does cross you up and then you go for a shield grab, you're dead. And if he doesn't cross you up and you go for a bear, that's also problematic. So Kira has to be, like, really, really focused and I don't know if you want to say predictive or if it's, like, kind of a reaction, but you have to have both of those options in your mind and be able to use either one very aggressively, right? Like, when I play against Puff, one of my big problems is I'll, and this is true for, like, a lot of different floaties, you get caught doing the same thing over and over. So, like, I'll, like, overshooting's working, and then I'll overshoot, like, 4 times in a row, and then all of a sudden I'm eating, like, huge bears, right? And that's, like, a really bad thing to do, so you have to mix it up to be effective.
Yeah, definitely. It's mix-ups only work for so long, right? Or, like, the thing that worked that first game only worked for so long, right? Especially when you're playing guys of this caliber, they're going to catch on to those things really quick. These guys are always... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Squid going way off for that dare, but Kira's able to get around it. But yeah, you're definitely right. And I think that's one of the things that I've really been focusing on in my game plan recently is, you know, getting past those things that work on newer players and, like, not trying to exploit those weaknesses and instead trying to round out and create a very like, polished game that works at higher levels. Because a lot of this stuff, you know, at low levels it feels super strong, but then as you start to grind your way up, all of a sudden a lot of the stuff that you've kind of gotten a lot out of is now the stuff that you get punished for.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's tough, and I think that's part of the reason why you see such a huge gradient in skill as you go up the rankings. It's
definitely hard, man, especially because I think retraining muscle memory is hard as well, because when sometimes you just train that muscle memory to do a certain setup or a certain attack or approach, and then, like, sometimes it's like not to quote the documentary here, but when, you know, PC talks about, like, I know what he's doing, I know he's just gonna sit there and wait for me to hit him, but me knowing it and me not doing it is a whole other thing, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, I mean, I know I'm not supposed to do it, but when I do it, it's like I'm not really fully aware of it.
How many times have we all experienced that, where you do something for the, like, 100th time, you're like, God.
Like, why did I, Jesus. But no, you're right. It's definitely extremely difficult to get over those. I think that's where plateaus happen a lot, is where people just kind of don't ask themselves, why am I getting hit? Meanwhile, these guys are asking themselves that every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Squid slowly, carefully, meticulously pushing Kira to the corner, and then he just has so much space to give. You can see, like, with Puff, it's a little tough. Like, so first of all, Puff can't really get out of the corner too effectively because her jumps aren't that fast or that high. So she has to, like, expend, like, 2 or 3 to really get up there. And at the same time, like, her options to get out aren't that great either. And especially on Dreamland, where, like, she's kind of tough to kill, it's really helpful to have her kind of in that corner area.
Right, yeah.
It can give you, like, 20 or 30% earlier kills. So I think Squid's doing a really good job of kind of holding her in the corner. Also the other thing to mention here is that Puff's roll is, like, atrocious.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So, you know, generally, like, your options for getting out of the corner, right? You, like, full hop out, you roll through them, or you hit them. Well, Puff isn't really good at approaching. She's more a wall character, so the hitting them doesn't really work. Her roll's atrocious, so that doesn't really work. And her full hop is slow and can be countered, so that doesn't really work. So it's really hard for Puff to get out of the corner if you can get her there. The problem is that she can play up in the air and kind of slowly push you away.
Yeah.
So what you'll see Squid do is he gets Kira to the corner, he uses that advantage, but he's also willing to give it away when Kira does something smart.
Yeah.
And he'll go back towards the center, give up a little space, and then slowly push him back to the corner.
Yeah, there's actually a moment that actually kind of highlights that very well, but I will kind of get to that in a second. If Kira can close this match out, that might be the case. But you're right, when he had him in this right corner, he managed to get a grab, and he up threw, and he just went for the coverage towards the middle of the stage. He kind of just threw out a back air, and he's like, I'm fine if I don't actually hit this, as long as you stay over there.
Right.
So it's very good awareness and positional awareness, especially from Squid.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's one of Squid's big strengths is recognizing what advantages he has, recognizing what advantages he can push, and recognizing what advantages he can just maintain but not use yet.
Right, and even kind of let go a bit.
So I've talked with Squid a little bit about this because I think it's like one of the things I have a lot of trouble with. And the way he described it to me, and I thought it was like a really elegant analogy, was to think about it like chess, where like if your opponent does some like weird move and you don't really know what to do next, like the thing that you're sort of taught to fall back on is to just improve your own position. And so, you know, there's like a few rules in chess about like what means an improved position.
Right, right.
So like you get your pawns up, you bring your power pieces towards the center, stuff like that. And I think it's like really cool that to think about Melee in that sense as well, right? I don't exactly understand the interaction that he's winning right now. So rather than trying to like force that or like bang my head against that brick wall, instead I'm going to step back, maintain my position, make sure I'm fighting from an advantageous spot, and then force him in. And I think Squid's very good at that. And I think that Falco as a character is really strong with that because you have lasers to kind of force the tempo. You have that really high full hop to kind of bail out of situations you don't get.
Extremely quick, too.
Exactly.
There's a